We're at the front elevation. This is a foundation inspection. You can see here we have mulch, and you can see how it's built up and it's touching the brickwork. Well, that's very poor because it allows moisture. Anything in the groundwork gets in touch with bricks, it allows moisture to pass through the bricks, and that could cause dampness in the cavity wall. So it's very simply solved. It needs to be raked back. So we're going to go and inspect around the house. These bushes are far too close to the walls, and the tree, it's too big. It shouldn't be here. The roots from this tree will be under the foundation, without a doubt. That's where it will be. Now these foundations are what we call post-tension cable foundations. They're enormously strong. They have cables running through the middle of them. They're called tendons. And the foundations themselves are flexible. They actually bend, they're malleable. Frank?
No, no.
Hiya! I record every inspection.
I'll let you do your thing. I'm going to go inside.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're now at the right hand elevation. We have a corner pop here, but in addition to the corner pop, we have erosion. Now erosion occurs over time, it just gets washed away. One of the major causes of erosion are drain pipes like this. The water's going to come out here, it's going to erode around this area of the foundation because it's going to be a lot of water. What needs to happen is that end, that part there, the downpipe, should be extended out into the swale. You can get plastic extensions that do that, and that will fix that problem for you. Coming on, we've got some post-tension cable heads here. You see, we can see them. You shouldn't see them. They should be completely covered. There's another one there, and they need to be covered. It's called parging, and you use a waterproof cement to do it. We're now continuing down the right hand elevation, and there's some erosion at the right hand elevation. What we like to see is the grade to come up to about 4 inches from the brick line. You've got the brick line here, and you want to see it coming up 4 inches, and of course it doesn't. You can also see that the erosion has occurred since the house was built, because this is the sprinkler head, and as we come in on the sprinkler head you can see that sprinkler head is above the ground, whereas before it was about ½ an inch below the ground. So it's lost quite a bit of the grade, and that's been caused by a very common problem in this part of the world. You can see this line here, it's a water line, and it's roof runoff. Now that's because there are no gutters. Gutters in this part of the world are essential, but they're not traditional. If you look at Texas ranch houses, you'll see they have very wide eaves. Those eaves are about 2 foot away from the foundation. Well, these are not 2 foot away, but they still follow the tradition and don't put gutters on, and hence you've got this problem. So gutters are very important. This is the left-hand elevation of the property, and we have quite a lot of erosion down the left-hand side due to the lack of gutters again. And what we want to see is this grade rebuilt to be between 4 and 6 inches from the top, from the brick line. So we want the grade to come up just about here. We're going into the rear elevation of the property now. You see we've got this little bit of erosion around here. It's not catastrophic erosion, by the way. It's very typical of what I find when you don't have gutters. And we've got the same issues at back here. The parging for the post-tension cables is failing. All you have to do is reparge over the top of it and it will fix it. Rebuild the grade in this area here and that will fix that. And of course I highly recommend that you fit gutters to the building. This is the patio area, which we spoke about earlier. There's a mention of a crack in it. Oh yes, I see the crack there. Let's have a look at this. Well, it is actually part of the foundation. I was wrong when I said to you it wasn't. It is actually part of the foundation. You see post tension cables here. And the cracks you see here, these are really common cracks. This crack is caused during the curing process. As cement dries and changes from a liquid into a solid, it does so at different rates around the area here. And to relieve the stresses that build up, the concrete cracks, well, that is why we have reinforcement. There's two types of reinforcement. There's active reinforcement, which is a post-tension cable, and there's passive reinforcement, which is rebar. And rebar simply holds everything in place when it's cracked. Those cracks are cosmetic, there's nothing to worry about. We're now at the right rear elevation. Again, we're looking at the foundation. You can see the erosion here. So the erosion needs fixing. This is the grade inspection. Grade at the back of the house is okay. It's sloping away. Slopes away back here. We have a small retaining wall. Yeah, it's going to drain. What we like to see is the area sloping away to a swale around about here, and there's not. But we do have a drop away here which is going to take the water away from us, so we don't have much of a problem. On the right hand elevation we have an incline away from the building, which is good. And then we're going to go to the left elevation. At the left elevation here we have a swale. It's running down here. It's good. It will drain. And in the front elevation. Right, in the front elevation it's all fine. You want to cut these bushes back. I mentioned them earlier. They actually remove moisture from the ground, and that can affect foundations. And that tree, you want to make sure it doesn't grow much bigger than it is. Trimming it and keeping it under control reduces the amount of foliage that it has, and that reduces the amount of water it expirates. And the less water that's expirated, the less that's taken away from your foundations. This tree here will most certainly have roots coming out to around here beneath it, and you should keep it cut back because the roots don't extend much past the canopy, and that will keep the roots away from your building and the foundation. This is the roof inspection. What we're looking for is construction details. Now, here we've got the actual covering that goes over the decking. Okay, it goes under the drip sheet. It should actually go over the drip sheet. On the rake it's okay to go under it, but here it should be over it, and it's not. There's nothing you can do about that. You just be advised that's what it is, and when you come to have another roof put on, make sure that they do that properly. Yeah, it's under, it should be over. But I can tell you the shingles are reasonably flexible. That indicates they're not aged too badly. Let's go up onto the roof now and have a look at the penetrations and the general condition. This is flow to the water heater, and we have nails heads showing. They should be caulked. Make our way up so we can see. This is the chimney, and you can see, I'm not going down there, it's too steep to walk on, but you can see that there's rot on the siding, and when I was on the ground I could see there was rot on the siding here. So that trim area there needs to be replaced. The reason that's important is that, apart from it's untidy, I don't really care about it being unsightly, The reason it's important is that there is now definitely water entering into the chase behind the chimney. You won't know that, and water provides conducive conditions for wood destroying insects. Apart from anything else, it also allows the possibility of mould in the future, so it's got to be sealed. So that's a must-do repair. Fix that chimney. I'm at the apex. I'm not going to go right up the top there. I haven't got ropes to restrain me, but I can see that part of the roof over the side here from the ground, and I can see the side adequately. What I wanted to do is get a good look at the shingles, make sure they were in okay condition. Down the ridge here we've got a prior repair, quite common in Texas because we get high winds, they take the shingles off, and you can see they've been repaired, which is a good thing. It means that people have been maintaining the building. We're now going to look at the eaves. What we're looking for is holes in the roofing and the eaves that can allow vermin into the property, and also to make sure that we've got soffit vents for proper ventilation. That's all looking okay on the left hand elevation. Let's go and have a quick look on the right and the rear. When we're doing so, we're going to look at the shingle field. It's all in good condition. Yeah, that's all looking good. Let's go to the rear elevation now. And we're at the rear elevation. Eaves are looking good. Okay, this boot on this penetration here is split. That's going to be leaking, so that needs to be replaced. Look at the eaves at the patio. And the eaves down there are looking good. Let's go to the right hand elevation. I'm looking at the small gable over the garage, and you can see in this area here there's an opening. It's big enough for vermin to get into. I can see there's a wasp nest up there too, and that means that mice will be attracted up there. They're always attracted to debris from wasp nests. That needs to be sealed off. The way to do it is use chicken wire. You're not going to seal it completely, you're going to allow some insects could get in, but you can make sure that by sealing behind it that it doesn't. But the main problem is mice. You don't want mice getting in. So we're moving to the right hand elevation. Again, we're looking at the eaves, general conditions. And here we are, we're back at the chimney. Because you saw the chimney on the roof inspection, that's where it got the rot. You got the rot here. See it clearly from the ground. Around here. That means water's getting in right at the top there. If you can see it here, it means it's behind. That means you've got water penetration in the chase, so you need to get that fixed. This is the attic inspection. Look at the general condition of the attic and its construction. This member here is called a purlin. It's supported. Holds the roof joists in place, stops them spreading. It's a central part of the actual structure. We have 1, 2, 3 vents, 3 square feet. There's a purling over here. Very difficult to see on the video, I know. I need stage lighting. There's an area there that's been boarded off, and the insulation is below it. Not quite sure why it's boarded off. There's no path to it apart from along this joist here. So the overall condition of the attic is good. There's a couple of small points. This is a gas pipe and it's running over service boards. It should be covered to protect it. This is wall inspection. What we're looking for is the condition of the walls. Now, when foundations move in this part of the world, does it show in the foundation? It shows in the walls. It shows in the form of cracks. Here there's an expansion joint, it's correct. This is the combustion air vent for the fire. Another expansion joint here. It's a window inspection. See here we've got a real large gap here. Lots of water's going to be getting in there. That'll be in behind the wall, and all the way along here. The caulking is in poor condition. The caulking, when I push it, is hard. It's going to be true all the way around the house. It's got to that age when really that caulking should be replaced. Continuing the wall inspection. Another window. We're at the right hand elevation, and the crack along here means water's getting in, and the crack and hole here means water getting in. So all the way around the house we're going to have these little conditions where water will get in between the walls. I recommend that before long this is all re-caulked and sealed to stop water getting in between the walls into the cavity walls. So on the day of the inspection, there are no cracks due to settlement on the right hand elevation. Small corner pop in the foundation, which we talked about, but no cracks. Let's go to the front elevation. Again, what we're looking for is movement in the foundation, and it always appears at the corner of windows. We're now at the front elevation at the garage. Let's see if there's any cracks appearing up there. No, they're not. And then over the portico. The portico is a prime area for movement, because you have the column here. It can move differentially to the rest of the property. And this is looking good. There's a hole in the wall here that needs to be filled. We're on the left hand elevation of the property. Again, we're looking for cracks, telltale signs of movement in the walls. Now this is a column, and as you can see it's brick, but it's a brick veneer. As such, because it's a brick veneer, it should have weep holes in the bottom of it, and it doesn't. Now this window and wall here, you've got poor deterioration here. Water's going to be getting in there, and also around here water's going to be getting in. There's no deterioration in the wood at the moment, but it will deteriorate. We've got deteriorating caulking here and here, so that whole area around that window needs to be addressed. This is the electrical panel. We've removed the front panel. Okay, we have copper, copper, copper all the way down. It's all looking in good condition. This is the meter, and I can't see any signs of a grounding bar here. The ground is at water heat, which means it should be over here, and there it is there. Ceiling inspection. There's an nail pot up there. We're in the small bedroom at the front right elevation.
There he is.
Hi, Dwayne.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Dwayne.
Hey.
My name's Frank.
How you doing?
Alright.
Nice to meet you. Good to meet you, sir.
No, sorry about
That's my
that.
nephew. We just heard about you.
Did you?
All good things, I swear.
Good. We're actually very impressed by how much house you got to it.
This is the AC compressor. It's a heat pump. We have some damage to the fins on the rear of the unit. The unit itself is level. The insulation is intact at the moment, but it's deteriorating. I recommend that the insulation is changed. Yeah, it's breaking away at the bottom there, so that needs to be swapped out, replaced. This is a sample taken from the water heater. As you can see, it's pretty clear. Hold it up against the sky, or even against the concrete here. It's very clear. If the water heater was deteriorating, it would be a rusty colour. Clearly it's not, so the water heater is good. This water heater is installed okay, apart from one thing. It doesn't have a safety pan, and it should do. Now, this indicates that the unit was put in by a plumber that didn't bother to pull a permit. When you install water heaters in this city, you're supposed to get a permit to do that, and then the permit pays for the inspector from the city come out and inspect the unit, and of course he would have called it out because it hasn't got a safety pan. Now this water heater is in reasonable condition. We already established it's not rusting inside presently. However, in time it's going to rust out, and that's why we want the safety pan. Now because of the back wall here is the property, it's the house, it's actually going to cause it to leak into the house. So I recommend that a safety pan is installed here by the original people who should have done it. I just don't know how long ago it was actually installed. One of the key things that can go wrong inside houses in North Texas is the water heaters, and I'm just going to show you how to carry out a quick survey and test of a water heater to establish whether or not it's close to going out and rusting. Now most water heaters are installed in the garage, but in some places they're installed in the attics. It makes it even more important that you monitor the water heater and make sure that you know whether or not it's about to start leaking. It's a very simple test you can carry out that gives you months ahead of it leaking indication that that water heater is actually going to go out. And let's go and look now what you should do. The first thing is to have a look at the water heater, the actual plumbing of the water heater. And you come up to the top of the water heater and you're looking at these pipes here. Both these pipes should be free of corrosion, and there will be a valve, and the valve there should be free of corrosion. There's a little bit of corrosion on this one. Here the corrosion is just below the valve itself, and that indicates that the water heater is getting a little bit old. But having found that corrosion, I then carried out a test where I took a sample of the water heater water, and you can see here it's pretty clear. Now if this water heater was really rusting out badly, it would actually be rusty, it would be red rusty. At the moment what's actually happening is it's dissipating the hard water, it's actually eating away at the sacrificial cathode and not actually harming the tank itself. And simply to take a sample, you want to use something like this. This is I've rigged up myself. It's just a piece of piping that's used in plumbing, and you can get it from Home Depot. And what it does, it allows you to go to the drain pipe for the temperature pressure relief valve, which is down here, and you can hook it in place so it won't move, and then you release water from the temperature pressure relief valve. Now when you release that water, if that valve won't open, you have a problem. You have to replace that valve. And that also indicates that the water heater may be deteriorating. But once you've done that, the water coming out is captured here, and then as you can see, we'll just pour it out, how clear it is. It's nice and clear. So that's a very simple test. You can work out whether or not the water heater is about to go out in the next few months or not. This is the plumbing inspection. I'm generally looking at the condition of plumbing around the house. Here we have a vanity sink and then the guest bathroom. And it's running hot water. Over here, so we'll look at the actual toilet. Okay, operates fine. Something right here, shower. Let's see, we've got hot water, we have cold water, that's fine. We've got hot water, not yet. Oh, we like that run, it's not come through yet. Right, we'll let that run while we check the water in the master. We're in the guest bathroom and we have no hot water at the guest bath, so only cold showers first thing in the morning at this shower. What you need to do is to replace the cartridge in the controls, the faucet controls here, and that will fix the problem.